Right. So I come from a part of the world where action coach is very, uh, new.
Yeah.
I think I'm the first firm owner in the GCC, and I've been interested with developing in all the GCC countries now. The biggest challenge I've seen is, in the West, when you talk about coaching per hour pricing, the kind of billing that is doable over here is very much accepted.
Hmm.
Now, when we are a first mover in a market like the Middle East, and that kind of culture is not there, I am able to convince many of my clients. I'm able to onboard, but when I go and trying to onboard ABCs or EBCs, they're not getting convinced that this is something that's viable. So, how would you take a conversation like that forward, where somebody who has experience fits the ABC profile, but doesn't understand how per hour billing works, doesn't understand the value of time?
Got it. So what we did at Action Coach is we revolutionized the industry. The consulting industry runs on an hourly rate. Legal industry, accounting industry, they run on an hourly rate. What I realize is that people hate hourly rates. People like to be able to buy something. So we run on a retainer-based business, and we productized what we do. You pay 120 grand a year, or you pay 60 grand a year, or you pay 36,000 a year. That's the thing. By the way, if you price it monthly, they think it's an expense. If you price it annually, they look at it as an investment. Whereas they can pay monthly, but we quote and think about it as an investment. It's annual. You can also quote as 2 years. So we've had many partners who say, you can start at 1 year, 18 months, or 2 years. We won't do less than 12 months, but 18 months or 2 years is generally when we start to see real impact in this sort of thing. So everything we do is set as just a monthly fee, and here's the package, because people can get their head around that. Now, for example, though, we don't go in and say to someone, hey, you're going to pay for coaching and it's 60,000 a year. What we do is we say, listen, we're going to come in and install ABOS, the Action Coach Business Operating System. That word install is massively important, okay? We're going to install our operating system into your business. Now, if you're just doing the management training, we don't come in and say, hey, Hafiz, I'm going to do management training with your people. We come and say, we're going to install our management systems into your business. And then we train everyone how to use those management systems through a 12-week program at $1,200 a head. So the word install is important. So if I said to you, what would it be worth for me to install a full business operating system into your business? How much would that be worth to you? What do you think it'll add to the value of your business in a year, 5 years' time? If I've installed an operating system, that means you can work less and your people do a better job and get higher productivity. What would that be worth to you? Well, the installation is $120,000 a year at the top end. We can do it for $60,000 or $36,000. Obviously, if we do it at the lower end, it's going to take more years. If we do it at the higher end, it's going to take less time to install the system, okay? The speed of installation is up to you and your budget. Now, that installation comes with business coaching. I will coach you every week or every 2 weeks to install the operating system for your business. Now, can you understand how that takes away anything about price objection, because we're installing a business operating system? How many business owners have a business operating system? None. So, for example, when we install the management systems, right, it's management training, because you can ask any business owner, any business CEO in the world, how much training have you given your managers? And you know what the answer is? Since 1990s, the answer is 0. They don't. Somewhere in the 90s, a guy by the name of Ricardo Semler wrote a book called Maverick, and if I could see him today, I would tell him that he was wrong, right? Because he talked about the flat organization. You don't want to be a manager, you want to be a leader. And everyone jumped on this bandwagon. And then in the 2000s, we saw all the books on execution. Why did we have to have books on execution? Because no one was managing anything. And they're all like, and when anyone ever says to me, you lead people and you manage things, I say, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Because you have to manage people. What is management? Management is competency and productivity. If I don't build that human being, manage them, build them up to be competent, productive, I got to do a lot of management. Now, once I build them, I have to do less management. A brand new employee, do they need a lot of management? Yes, they need daily management. Some of them need hourly management. It's like having a kid. You got to build them up to be get through the teenage years and get them off to college and off they go type thing. That's what you're doing with an employee in management. Now, leadership is about passion and focus. But when we look at installing the management system, and I was chatting with a friend of mine on the weekend who came to me at a kid's birthday party, and he's like, oh my God, my manager's this, and his business is growing so fast. And I said, well, have you trained your managers? What's his answer? No, I haven't trained my managers. So I put him in touch with Nick. Nick's training all of his managers now. They're installing the management system. And not only are they increasing productivity, but just installing the management systems allowed him to reduce his workforce budget by 15%. Because he's had a 30 to 40% bump in productivity, there's 15% less cost of staff. So training the managers has paid for itself many times over by the productivity increases sort of thing. So what we see when we're looking at people investing in what we do, we don't ask them to invest a massive amount in that. We ask them to invest $1,200 per person in us installing the management systems. Now, if it's, say it's a, I don't know, our marketing 12-week program. So the 12-week programs are designed so you can do it in a group format or you can do it one at a time. So let's say I'm working with a CMO. I can coach them over 3 months. It's $6,000. So for 3 months, $6,000, I can help you build your marketing plan. And it takes an hour a week for 12 weeks. They watch a video for half an hour. You coach them through the homework. Boom. So you can do those 12-week programs one-on-one, or you can do them in a group format. You can also do them in a group format in one company, or you can do them in a group format where there's 10 people from 10 different companies. Like if you're doing the sales training, one of your clients might send 3 salespeople, one might send 4, one might send 1, one might be the owner of the business who just needs sales training. Great questions.